you show up for your city, for yourself, but most of all, for your team. Every single fan, player, and community, all in. The XFL is built on new fields of opportunity with more passion and more possibilities and even more at stake. We welcome anyone with a dream, with the drive to make them real. It's time to rise up. You know what the XFL stands for. Now, which team will you stand behind? Arlington Renegades, DC Defenders, Houston Roughnecks, Orlando Guardians, San Antonio Brahmas, Seattle Sea Dragons, St. Louis BattleHawks, Vegas Vipers. Together, we are pushing football forward. Together, we are tomorrow's league. Welcome to the XFL.
And with that, what is going on? Dominator David Dominator here. First off, apologies if I sound sick. I really just don't feel good. I haven't felt good for like 2 weeks now, but I'm gonna try to fight through it. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I woke up this morning and I knew the news was gonna drop, and I knew it was gonna drop early. I think I woke up at like 6 or 7. I was like, oh well, they released the logos. I immediately looked at my phone and saw the logos. I saw that video that you just watched. And I'll be honest, slightly disappointed. Now, these are my opinions. I have looked these over and had a little bit of thought to them. And we're going to try to get through this. First off, and there's no really good logo, like specific logo, and we're gonna look through their item shop too, maybe, because I'm gonna just go with the flow here. So, I don't know if we should go reaction or, we'll live stream it. So, honestly, I didn't like any of these. Well, here, let's face first. Honestly, first initial reaction, I hated all of these. I didn't hate all of them. That's not true. I liked the BattleHawks. I love the Guardians. Because I feel like, well, I'll save that. I liked Houston's. And I kind of liked the Brahmas, but I felt like I was a little disappointed with these logos, and because when you have them all together, like the image I'm looking at right now, there is only 2 to 3 of them that have very good, significant detail to them, while the others do not. And I already have a feeling that some of these could and might be a problem with other organizations, specifically the DC Defenders. I don't think it will be too bad. I don't think you really can call it to be a copy, but I'm gonna get right into it. And this video might be long, so be prepared. Arlington, I thought this was a little weird to me, since we're still not calling it Dallas, and it's Arlington. A little upset that it's the Renegades, but not the original logo. And by the way, if you don't like the logo, let me know. But we also have to remember that they're going to also have secondary logos, which will hopefully help and be a little better. These are just the main. Kind of like how the Vipers in Orlando or in Tampa last year, because when we had that really dope secondary logo. So I think you need to really think about that these aren't going to be the main logos. These are the main logos. The others, they might come out with others to help balance it. But the Renegades, I just felt like, and here's a better image right there, it was just kind of weird to me. Like, when you think of a logo, you have to think of the bright colors. I knew they had the colors behind them. It kind of looks like they dropped the red, and now they're just straight baby blue and black. That's another thing that concerns me, is that all of these teams, I'm pretty sure all of them could use black very well and have black uniforms for their home jerseys. And I don't think that that's going to happen, because when you have, DC and you have Houston, they might keep that light blue and they might keep the red and white. Orlando definitely could have that black, even though they do have that hint of the yellow. Because something I don't think people realize is that that's not fully black in their logo. I think it's a very, 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 very dark green. Because when they showed us the teaser, I was even like, because I even posted it on Twitter. If you're not following me there, look above. But I even posted on Twitter because somebody was like, "Oh, what do you guys think this is gonna be?" And I literally said that the second one is Orlando. I literally, by the way, when they showed the teasers, I nailed every single one of them. But we're gonna look at the shop later to see what they have. I'm assuming it's kind of like how they had last year. But yeah, when I think the problem with the old logos is that, you have these older logos that were so detailed, and now you have this. So it's kind of a downgrade when you had the other team. Now, like I said, it's not terrible. Now, like, it will grow on us. That's just how it's going to be, because we're going to see it all the time. And it's honestly, we might not care when we see the uniforms, because we know that uniforms are very, if you use them to certain detail to involve this logo, no one will care. No one will care. DC Defenders. Personally, I don't hate it. I like the way I like the font. The font is very well put together. The one concern I have is that this logo looks a lot like the Gamblers logo from the UCFL because of the star. I'm sure that I haven't watched all these. I only watched the Vegas one, but like I feel like this isn't bad. I feel like it's a really good logo compared to their, like, I don't know, that's not true. I like their other one, but this one, I like it. It just reminds me too much of Dallas. Like, even though it has the C, it just still gives me that Dallas vibes. You know what I'm saying? So, but look at the merch, looks dope as hell. Like, I would wear that. And by the way, like, I have one team, I have two, but I'm gonna like all these teams. I don't really care. Of course, I'm gonna like Vegas more and Seattle a little more, since those were my teams. I was a Seattle fan last year, or last XFL, so there's gonna be a little problems there. But I think that I'm definitely gonna stick around with this. But I don't think the Defenders logo is that bad. I think people are gonna give it too much hate, but that was my only problem when I saw it. Houston, I thought they did a good job, because the problem is, or the thing that they did here was that they did it very well by trying to get their old logo. They literally just grabbed their old logo, aka the Oilers logo, and they put together a thicker version and a smaller version. Which, when you look at it, it looks amazing. I like it, and I'm also trying to figure out where these people are playing. I think that's the same stadium. I'm not 100% sure. But, like, yeah, I like these. And we also have to pay attention to their colors, because your colors will show you a lot about the team's uniforms. And we know that these uniforms, be prepared that these uniforms is going to be similar to the last year's red and some of that dark blue. You could prepare for red and white. And you could honestly prepare, because they kind of got rid of the red in this color. You could really just get ready for a light blue uniform. So that's something to look at. Houston, I thought, did a very good job, though. There's nothing you really could say about that. I love this logo. Can't say nothing bad about it. Orlando Guardians, basically it's the old logo just modified, and I like it. It's looks intimidating. I think the problem is the color. It's not even a problem, I would say. It's just, I think it's funny that it just looks so intimidating that you have the light colors. Now, something I would be prepared for here is be prepared for a light, a lot of this color that you're seeing right now to be utilized in the uniform, like prepared for a dark green uniforms with the outline being that bright green, while also having gray. Like that's what I really think is going to be in there. God, I sound like Jesse Pinkman every time I talk. And yeah, see, like this, that will be the color of the uniform. I'm not even joking. This will be the color. I think that's just what it is. San Antonio, I didn't think it was. I don't think this was too bad. When you look right here and here, you can see the actual logo with the gray, which I think will be a thing where their colors. I don't think their uniforms will be bright yellow. But definitely when you look at this, like I wouldn't be shocked if, since their logo is gray, that they have gray uniforms or black uniforms, and then like that's why I always look at, because they kind of give you a hint on what the colors of the uniforms will be. So, in the t-shirts, because you utilize what you see on the t-shirts, and I think that we'll be prepared to see a lot of black and gray for these guys. Because I even think when I made the video about them breaking down their colors, I think I even said that they were gonna use gray. Now, me personally, this is 50-50. I don't think it's terrible, because personally, when I first saw it, I was like, this is stupid and disgusting. The second time I looked at it, I was like, you know what? It's really not that bad. Here's why this is bad compared to, it's kind of comparing to Arlington and DC, where we were used to a logo, and the Seattle Dragons logo last year was so perfect. I wonder why they changed it so much. I feel like you could have just added on to it. I don't know if they got into another lawsuit about it, but a little disappointed about this one personally. But you know, it is what it is, and I honestly don't think it's going to be too big of a deal at the end of the day. I would be prepared that they wear this. They have the same kind of color scheme for their uniforms. I'm not expecting a copy and paste. Personally, I'm expecting a copy and paste from St. Louis, since that's the only team that's kind of like sticking with tradition. It's like the St. Louis. That's why I'm not going to spend so much time on these guys. It's like I'm pretty sure this is the same logo. If not, it's just modified a little bit. I'm going to try to look it up real fast. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 2020 XFL BattleHawks. Because I'm pretty sure it's the same logo. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. The exact same logo. Maybe a little few different details here and there. Based off of what I'm like looking at, it does look like they changed a little a few pieces, put more detail on the sword and stuff. Yeah, so Battlehawks didn't do bad. I think this is perfect. Now, last on our list, Vegas. Now, here is where I will be coming in. I told you when we had like the breakdown of the names that I don't know how I feel about Vegas Vipers. And then when I look at this, I really just don't know how to feel. Because when I first saw this, I'll be honest, utter disappointment. Disappointment all over the place. I was like, why did they change it so much? Because honestly, it looks like the same logo, just a little bit wider at the top. And then when I first saw it, I was like, I wonder if they really did listen. Like, obviously they didn't hear me say it, but I wonder if somebody told them and said, hey, your V looks a lot like the Golden Knights, which we've been through this before. That their logo is, I don't have it on my Yeti anymore. Their logo looks a lot like their old logo, like the V. And I doubt that that's what they did, but I don't know, man. This just logo seems plain. It should be a secondary logo. Because here's the thing. Easily could be a secondary logo. Easily could be a secondary logo. I think it's a main logo, but they'll probably come out with a secondary logo that's pretty good. Main logo all the way. I think it's a main logo all the way. It's a little hard, tough though. I think this should have been like halfway. It's half and half, honestly, with that one. BattleHawks main logo. And then this is not a main logo. It's kind of like last year where you had all these detailed logos from front to back. And then you get to the Vipers and they kind of just shit on them. And you could see that the detail they kind of put into it, because I don't think they really break it down in these videos. Because when I had it, I don't even know. But like it kind of looks like it's hard to freaking even tell what I'm staring at, because it's like, what other than the V tells me that this is a Viper? Like the fangs at the bottom, like I don't know. Hopefully they come out with a secondary logo, and similar to Arlington, use that a little more. Because I just don't dig it, and especially when the guy was supposed to, or when the coach said that. Sorry, I can't speak. Rod Woodson said, "Hey, we have the most dangerous uniforms in the league," or like, we have a very dangerous name. Which, okay, you're right, Vegas Vipers. But I also am interested on, what's going to happen here, because here's the thing that I have a problem with if they have black uniforms, because when you look here, they have a black outline that you really don't see here because they use the white. So, I'm interested in knowing if the Vipers are going, like, what their uniforms will be like. And now we know I think the 3 colors of each team is obviously gonna be baby blue for these guys, and black and white are probably the main colors. This lighter red, white, and that's probably gonna be it for them. Houston's gonna keep these colors, so this color design. Orlando will have this dark green, light green, and gray. I almost said silver. Birmingham is gonna have these light gray and yellow, and probably a black added to their color scheme. They're gonna have the green, blue, and orange. St. Louis is gonna have that silver like last year, blue and white, and Vegas is gonna have red, white, and black. I don't think you could do much. And since he said that he's seen the uniforms, and personally, I feel like I know Rod Whitson's taste is that these things are gonna be black, and the red is gonna be very vibrant on it. Because they'll probably have like a red outline, and I think that these are gonna look very blacked out. Which not a hater against. It's kind of concerning. This is the one thing I want to say. I'm getting concerned that they still don't have a venue. When do we start getting worried that one of the teams that we have aren't going to be playing, are not going to be like we know they're going to play, but where? Because they're going to play there. The question is, there's only 2 places in my head besides Allegiant Stadium, and I'm wondering why Allegiant Stadium is a problem and why it's taking so long. Last time I heard, the Raiders gave them approval that they could play there. So I'm interested on what is taking so long, whether that goes for the city. But if you've already talked to the city to get a team, they should have figured that out. So I'm interested on what's going to happen here. XFL terms, because it really just makes no sense. There's only 2 places that they could go if it doesn't work. Sam Boyd, which I'm pretty sure, literally that stadium, it will be the worst stadium out of all of the teams, because it's an old college stadium, and it's honestly just a piece of crap. It's been sitting there abandoned for at least 3 years, I think. So, at least 3 years. So I don't think it's been used. I don't think has been used at all. So that's going to be a problem if they decide that we need to have it up. Hold up, guys. And then, yeah, so I'm a little concerned on how that's going to be. Seeing as how today is the first, or the end of October, I have to assume, hopefully by the draft, which is the 16th, 17th, I think, of next month, you would have to hope that they have a plan, because you need a venue soon. The latest they have to announce it is December, because then January I would be concerned. Like, your players need to know where you're going to be playing. So, now real quick, I did want to look at the shop and see all of these. Look, they have this lighter blue too, or it's kind of similar to the dark blue. So something also to look out for. But not too much on their shop. Everything's pretty much going to be a copy and paste for all the teams. So let's just look around real quick. Yep. See, like this will be the color scheme, I guarantee it. These hats look better than last year's. I could already tell you that. I felt like I tried to get a hat last year, and oh my god, it was awful. Honestly, I'm not gonna go through every single one. Oh, they still have just the plain white shirts. I wonder how many people actually bought those. Are these are like maybe it just looks like the material, but it looks like it looks like a very, very dark gray. Interesting. So yeah, that's gonna be it. And because you know what it looks like to me, to be honest, when I'm looking at this, damn, I already sold out. When I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, this just reminds me of a bigger version of the Golden Knights logo again, and it pops out. So, like I said, hopefully we get like a secondary logo, kind of like Arlington, that contrasts a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna just be like the Vipers logo. It's gonna be like every logo that you have seen, whether you like them or you hate them. All of these logos and all of these names are gonna get grown on you. I think all the names are pretty good. Renegades, Defenders, Roughnecks, Guardians, Brahmas. People might have their opinions. Sea Dragons, BattleHawks, and Vipers. I think they're all good. So, I think next up when that video was, kickoff. Kickoff is soon. It feels super soon. So, what I'm gonna make a real quick timeline on what I think is gonna happen. So if I try to remember last year, they released the uniforms later during like camp. So I'm gonna assume that they're gonna have that same type of schedule. So we have the draft in early November, and then camp will probably be late November, early December. I would say near December we would get the uniforms, because they distanced themselves through all this news. So what I'm going to assume is we're going to get a little we're not going to get anything new besides draft information from now until draft day. That's the only information we'll get, is about the draft and maybe about the rules. But I don't think even that will happen yet. And then after that, it will be from that to camp. And then once camp is in, I feel like they're going to announce and they're going to show the players the uniforms first. So that's what I would expect. And yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. So I know I was a little harsh on him, and I'm sorry if you had to deal with my sick voice, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's like all these uniforms, they're not awful, but they're not great at the same time. So it's like, I can't give them too much hell. But at the end of the day, they're going to grow on us. And at the end of the day, they're going to make, and that's another thing I always say, if they're honestly fans of the people, they will eventually change it. Obviously, they're not going to change it right away, but I think they'll be fine. I have not seen a lot of Twitter stuff, so I'm very interested after this video to scroll and see where everyone's head's at. So Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Um, sorry, I'm already looking at people complaining, and I honestly don't think it's too bad. All right. Thank you guys for watching this video. I am going to blow my nose and drink a lot of stuff, liquid, whether it's for sickness or whatever. That sounds bad. Sounds like I'm about to go drink. Cannot do that. Will not do that. That was gonna be it for me, Dominators. I'm sorry that this video is long. I'm probably by the time I'm editing this video, I'll probably try to cut. I'll probably try to timestamp my opinions on from one logo to the other. So thank you guys for watching this video. Dominate the world. Like, subscribe, follow everything down below because you'll know everything and everything. That's gonna be it for me. Dominate the world, Dominators. David Dominators out. Peace.